Here's how it goes. We go into the fold. It gets dark, but we like it dark.
Shadow and Bone ended in an epic finale, the ramifications of which will likely spill into a second season. The show left us with some unresolved mysteries and some burgeoning questions.
How many questions is it?
Some of which we hope will be answered sooner rather than later. But what are the most important questions that need to be addressed? Well, that's what we're going to take a look at here. Oh, and spoiler warning, there will be some The Fold-sized Shadow and Bone spoilers in this video, which will snatch you up and spit you out like a Volcra if you haven't finished Season 1. You've been warned. Also, quick side note, for the most part, we're gonna ignore Leigh Bardugo's books and look at the series as its own separate entity, as some of these questions may or may not be answered in the books. However, while the series does deviate in some ways, there may be some overlap, so to avoid potential spoilers, we're keeping away from a majority of the book details.
You ready?
I think I am.
So obviously, one of the biggest twists in the series is that Ben Barnes' General Kirigan is actually the Black Heretic and the one who created the monstrous fold. It was revealed that Kirigan doesn't want to destroy the fold, but actually weaponize it, using his and Alina's combined powers to rule supreme. But obviously, Alina put a wrench in the works and has so far delayed Kirigan's grand scheme. But she is still not yet to completely undo Kirigan's creation, and the fold still looms large. But how exactly will Alina become strong enough to destroy the fold once and for all? One of the answers could be amplifiers, just like Morozova's stag, and this might help enhance her raw power. But, as Bagra warned, amplifiers can come with grave consequences and be a corrupting power. The most likely suggestion, then, is good old-fashioned training. Just like most heroes with powers in fantasy and sci-fi shows, Alina will most likely require more experience and training if she wants to defeat the Darkling. One of the most compelling characters in Shadow and Bone is certainly Amida Suman's Inej Gaffa. Inej got some great character development as she interrogates Arken Visser, aka the Conductor, and she reveals that she was separated from her young brother after they were kidnapped when they were 14 and 12 respectively.
I came to Ketterdam on a Labour merchant ship. I don't know where he went.
While she still hasn't seen her brother and her parents in years, she still holds out hope that she will at least be reunited with her brother. Inej did look for closure over her parents when looking at a memorial in Novokribirsk, but is still unaware as to what happened to her family members. With the fire of reuniting with her brother burning inside of her, it is more than likely that searching for him will be one of the plot lines the second season will follow. Now that Inej is liberated from the menagerie, there is nothing holding her back. Although, seeing as she still has obligations to both Kaz and Alina, she may not be going solo just yet. But one of the biggest questions has to be, is Mal a Grisha? While Mal is yet to exhibit any powers so far in the show, there certainly feels like there's more than meets the eye. The flashbacks of Mal and Alina focus on them avoiding being tested, meaning that neither of them know if they have powers or not.
Don't you want to know if you're Grisha?
Not if we can't go together.
Now, while Alina found out about her powers later on, Mal is yet to discover if he has any himself, but there are hints suggesting that he does. In the premiere, Alina's powers first appear during the Volcra attack while holding Mal's hands, similar to how Alina's powers are heightened when touching Kirigan's hands. This suggests that Mal is an amplifier, and this could be a reveal we see in Season 2. As we said before, though, we're keeping this separate from the books, so don't go spoiling it in the comments, book readers. So, while Alina will certainly be looking to destroy the fold in the upcoming seasons, what does the future hold for Kirigan and his perfect hair? Kirigan had seemingly been killed by his own Volcra in the show's finale, but of course, life isn't that easy, is it? And we saw Kirigan very much alive at the end of the episode, leading his monsters into the wider world. Now that the monsters have left the borders of the fold, this could be disastrous for the people of Ravka, especially as Kirigan didn't exactly seem pleased that his plans had been foiled.
You chose to betray our people.
I guess he's gonna call it the foiled now. Anyway, with his monsters now out of the fold and into the fold, sorry, more fold puns, it'll be interesting to see what Kirigan's next steps are and how he'll try to bring Alina in line. But he has seemingly got his wish of weaponizing the fold even more, and will certainly use his monsters and powers for even more nefarious reasons in the upcoming season. Also, we can be certain that not one hair on his head will be out of place as he does it. Yeah, but like seriously, what does this guy use on his hair? Look at it, I've gotta know. Now, while I said I wasn't going to mention the books much, one question I have is, where exactly is Wylan van Eck? For those who don't know, Wylan is the dyslexic son of the wealthy businessman Jan Van Eyck, who runs away with Kaz and his crew. Wylan was actually a key character in the Six of Crows book, which lies separately from the Grisha series that Shadow and Bone is based on, and takes place several years after the events of the Grisha series. Although the character was missing in the first season of Shadow and Bone, showrunner Eric Heiserer has confirmed that Wylan will be making an appearance in Season 2 at some point, and that he plans to incorporate the timeline of the Six Crows into the Shadow and Bone narrative. But what, where, and why is Wylan, can't resist a good Marvel gag regardless of what we're talking about, is yet to be answered. Kirigan may have achieved his own personal goal by causing the Fold to consume Novokribirsk, eliminating the immediate threat of Generals Latan and the concern of a civil war, but what will the knock-on effects of his actions be? Well, first and foremost, it could mean that the general populace will have an even deeper distrust and hatred toward the Grisha, and if the Grisha are blamed as a collective for Novokribirsk, then the people of Ravka could quickly turn on them.
The ghosts are what we need to be for a while. Zoya's right, the whole world will be after you.
Seeing as the Ravka military are becoming more and more technologically advanced, they could pose a real threat for the Grisha. It could also cause mass chaos and morale to plummet across Ravka. With the Sun Summoner thought dead, Ravka could be pulled into disarray, allowing their enemies Shuhan and Fjerda to attack them while they're at their weakest, which could lead to even more disastrous consequences to a nation that is already on the brink. There is nothing more romantic than accusing the person you love of being a slaver and having them imprisoned, is there? Well, when you put it like that, it doesn't sound so romantic, but Nina had to do something drastic to protect the man that she was beginning to fall for, Matthias, and have him arrested for being a slaver.
Slaver! This man is a slaver who has taken me to be sold. I'll testify, yes.
Her plan was to drop the charges when they arrived at the court in Kerch, but this was thwarted after she learned that he may end up being in prison for years. So how exactly will Nina break Matthias out of jail? Well, seeing as they kinda set it up at the end of the season, I imagine the Crows will have something to do with it, because let's face it, they like a good heist, don't they? While we've seen hints and flashbacks to the past of certain characters, one we're likely to see more in depth is Kaz's dark history. Kaz has a hatred for rival crime boss Pekka, although we're yet to see what exactly that grievance actually is.
I don't know the details, obviously. Just that you have a little travel hazard ahead of you.
It is likely that we will see more of Kaz and how he came to be, and, for example, how he got his signature cane and leg injury.
I only need one good leg.
Although that's if they actually get that cane back, with actor Freddie Carter apparently taking the cane for himself after shooting for Season 1 Wrapped. Once a thief, always a thief. But the most important question of all is, of course, will Jesper ever reunite with Milo? At the end of the season, Jesper and his trusted emotional support goat Milo find themselves on separate sides of the Fold. But will the show's best duo see each other once more? Let's hope so. #Team Jello.